Hi guys, this is Johanna from Lawrence Apiary. Today I'm going to be doing a very quick, hopefully, video on how to make jelly, or this works the same for jams, preserves, just about anything, but this is specifically jelly, and what I'm going to be making today is called Muscadine. It's a type of grape that has a very hard skin on it, and as a result it's not the best for fresh eating, but down here in the deep south we really love using it for jelly making. It makes a really good jelly. It's kind of like a purplish color when it's done, and I'll show you what those berries look like right now. Okay, this is a muscadine grape. So as you can see, they kind of like have a purplish, almost black color. There's also one called Scupperdine or Scupperdong, the way it's spelled. I don't think it's supposed to be said that way phonetically, but let me just get one of these and show you what they look like. Okay, so basically you just kind of squish it out. Okay, so there's the inside of it, and the skin is very thick, as you can see. The inside part is kind of like sort of gelatinous, and it has lots of seeds in it. There's another one in there. See? Well, the most part can be eaten, but as you can see, there's the seeds. So of course you wouldn't want to like pop this in your mouth and just like chew on it like you would a regular grape. So what we usually use them for is jelly. Now the first step in this process is you got to put these berries, or fruit, whatever you want to call them. I'm not really sure if they're botanically considered a berry. You got to put them in a pot like I've done here. I have a very large, this is a Tramontina, and I think it's about like 4 or 5 gallons it can hold, something like that. The actual size is on the bottom of the pot, so I can't really look at it. So you put them in the pot, and then you cover them up with water. So this was about 2 gallons of muscadines, and so I have like, I don't know if you can really tell, it's like a couple inches over the berries here, because with the flavors from the peels and also from the inside, this makes a very rich juice. Now the one thing you don't want to do when you're making jelly is water it down too much, because then it will just taste like sugar when you get done, because you're putting like so much sugar in it. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this to a boil, and then let it boil for a few minutes until like all this water turns that purple color. Once it turns that color, then I will let it set until it's cool enough to handle, because I'm going to have to run it through a straining cloth of some sort. Usually we just use like a clean pillowcase or something like that. And then once you have the juice, then you will make the jelly. Okay, so now the berries are boiling, as you can see. They kind of rise up to the top. They start to split and do what things do when they boil. So now it's boiling, and I basically just stick the spoon in there and look at the color. Let me make sure you guys can see that. Okay, so you can see that it's like a purple color. but it's not exactly like a very dark purple color. So that means we want to keep cooking it. And you can kind of tell, because like these are very dark berries, okay? And you can tell how that they're like losing their color. Like this right here is like almost green. So it's leaching out the color. When you get done with it, they should just about all look like that. Should be pretty green looking. And also you make sure that you're getting like your full amount of nutrition from the berries, not just like a slight flavor. You want to get everything you can, because obviously jelly is not very healthy for you, so every little bit of nutrition counts. So just kind of stir it a few times. And then more or less just sort of let it go. Let it do its little thing. Keep checking the color until it gets dark like you want it. So yeah, there's going to be a lot more sugar in that. So a lot of the volume of the recipe is coming from sugar. So you want to try to get as much of the flavor from the fruit or berries as you can. So boiling them longer is how you do that. It's starting to really boil now, so it is getting a little bit darker. So just a few more minutes and then we'll be ready to turn it off and let it cool off enough so that I can actually strain it. See you then. Okay, so after a quick little trip out to the yard where the bees were at and collecting some supers with honey in them, we're back here, and this is still warm, but obviously, I mean, I can touch it, you know, and yes, my hands are clean. So then what I do, and I couldn't do this on camera because my video camera died while I was filming the bees, so I had to use my phone, and obviously this pot takes 2 hands, especially when it's filled with liquid. So just took the muscadines and the liquid, the juice now that was in them, and just took this pot, dump it in there very carefully. It splashed all over the place. As you can see, I've got juice all over my pickled eggs. And then I just put it into this. This is actually my pressure pot that I use, because that Tramontina pot and this pressure pot are my biggest pots that I have available. So I kind of just have to like use them wisely. So, and something that I did not realize is when you cook these, you can actually eat this. That's the skin. And it's actually pretty tender. However, the only problem is, you know, you still have these like humongous seeds. So, I guess you could still make like jam out of this, but what you'd have to do is you would have to use like some sort of like a strainer that these seeds would not go through, and just sort of like mash this pulp through the strainer, and then you would have something kind of like jam, because obviously you wouldn't want those big seeds in a jam. So then all I'm going to do is just like, I just take this is a pillow slip, and I just put it over, kind of tuck it over the edges, and then what I'm going to do is just catch it, make sure I've got it where nothing's going to spill out, and then I'll pick it up, and also, this is hard to do with one hand, twist it, So I'm trying to let you see. You can see how the juices is coming out like that. And so usually what I do, like there's a lot of air in it now. So usually what I'll do is I'll twist it around and then I'll like tie it in a knot. Like I'll get as much of the air out as I can and then I'll tie it in a knot close to where the main pulp and stuff's at. And then like I know it's probably not good for them, but I just like run it through here and hang it on these cabinet doors. Shh, don't tell anyone. But obviously these cabinets are kind of old, so I'm not really too concerned about it. And if they break, I just, you know, change out a hinge. So that's pretty much what I do. And then when you get done, you're gonna have this marvelous dark magenta purpley liquid, and then you're gonna make the jelly out of it, which I will also show once I get done with this. And also I have to get the honey done. So expect a few videos actually in the next couple days. I'll be doing video on this video obviously, and then I'll have a video on me going out and getting the honey. There's some interesting information there for anyone that's interested in beekeeping. And then I'll also, later on, probably not this time, but probably when we have like a huge honey crop, I'll do a video on honey processing. Like how do we get the honey from the beehive into a jar, and the process that we use. So stay tuned.